episode of I Am Beautifully Broken. I'm your host, Lamekkiona. On this show, we talk about purpose, evolving, and growing. Today, we have a special guest, and this is virtually this time, but that's okay. We have a special guest by the name of Precious, and I'm going to let you introduce yourself with your name and your occupation.
Hey y'all, I'm Precious. Right now I'm in school for health management. I graduate next year. I'm also a podcast host as well, bubbliciouspodcast, and an upcoming author.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, and I want to dig into that. So I'm so excited to talk with you today. And I just want to thank you for virtually. So, hey, y'all. So we want to start off. The first segment that we normally do is called Get to Know Me. And it's just where I just ask you a couple, like, just to get a little deep and kind of ask you just some brief questions.
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
So the first one is, what does healing look like to you?
You can't put a time frame on healing for sure.
Hmm.
Like a lot of people try to put a time framing on healing when it comes to like breakups or deaths. I mean, the list can go on, but you can never put a time frame on healing, and you can't ever tell anyone how to heal either.
That is so true. I always used to say that about myself as well. I used to think that I had a timeline or when I'm going to get it all figured out. But I realized that it's just going to take time. Even if years have passed, months have passed, doesn't mean I just have to be all the way healed. And sometimes it's always ever evolving, like with healing, because it's never like just that one thing that and then it can circle on to different things, so healing can look so different for everyone.
Exactly.
So I wanted to ask, the next question was, what do you do for self-care?
I read, I meditate, I do yoga. I love nature, so sometimes I go to like a trail with my dog and my daughter. I drink tea. I have to have like at least 3 cups of tea a day. And I burn candles and sometimes incense as well.
Wow, yeah. That I really love what you said about reading and just meditating. That sounds like we're kind of resonating with each other, because I especially always am meditating, reading, trying to, just get more knowledge. And then also like stillness. I've really been enhancing just being still, not being so adamant about like always moving around somewhere. So I really found that meditation has been a place to center myself, and also to, like, if I'm having a bad day or, just something going on. Like, for example, I recently just got a new phone, right? And there was a situation with the phone company, so I had to switch to another company. And that was my second time switching my number in a matter of like 3 weeks. My family replies, "Is somebody stalking you? Are you okay?" And I'm like, my anxiety is getting high, because I'm like, now I'm having to respond to all of these messages about what's wrong. Are you okay? Is somebody trying to harm you? And I'm just like, of the nature, like, calm down, because now you making me feel, So I had to meditate for about 5 to 10 minutes just to center myself. And a lot of people may think, like, how does that even bother you? But that can really bother you when somebody is just like putting, like a space where you just feel uneasy. And I'm just like, I was very uneased. I was like, oh my God, can everybody please leave me alone?
Exactly.
So I was like, yeah, just give me a minute. Give me a minute. And last question, how are you doing mentally?
I'm doing better, but you have your days where sometimes you're just not feeling it. But mentally, I'm okay. I'm not gonna say like I'm perfect, because you never can be perfect, but I'm okay.
I really do feel that. I've been in a space where I'm kind of in a weird space between, do I do this? Do I do that? And I'm just like,
on and off.
Yeah, I'm kind of on and off, but at the same time, I'm just trying to stay clear of my vision. And I'm so excited to talk to you about that. So we're going to kind of move to the next segment of just kind of asking you some questions about your business and like what your occupation is and like what do you do. So the first question I wanted to ask you about was Bubblicious, which is your podcast. We love that. Y'all been tuning in every single, well, it's bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks. So I've been tuning in, and I wanted to talk to you first about the one that just recently came out about vision. Can you elaborate on that more if they have never heard your podcast before?
Episode that I just dropped is called Visions. It's pretty much letting you know, like, when you get a vision, go with that vision, write it down, take the proper steps. And some visions may seem like out of reach, but it's never out of sight. Some visions may be bigger than what you expect, but it's never bigger until you start, taking the proper steps to it. So it's pretty much kind of, yeah. I think y'all should tune in. Let's just say that. I'm not going to give y'all too much.
No, most definitely. Anybody who has not heard of Bubblicious, I need y'all to go. I'm going to tag it at the bottom because it's so good. I'll be like, oh my God, 3 minutes already up. I'll be like, come on, I need some more. But really, when she was talking about visions, I was just listening in the car. I was like, wow. Like,
you listened to it?
Yeah, I just listened to it this morning, of course. But I was just thinking to myself, how you broke it down was so like realistic and real to me, because I felt like, when you do have a vision, you want to make it plain. And when you make it plain, it's like you go after what you want to do instead of like, holding on to that idea. And I loved how you elaborated on that about visions, how to not just let it, let it flow out, but just do something about it as well. I noticed with myself that when I write it down and make it plain, then I'm more actionable to do it versus if I just say it out loud, and I just move on with my day and I haven't really thought about it again. But how you said it, I was just like, wow, I really love how you made that conclusion over visions, because I feel like it contributes a lot to women's mind, body, and spirit. And that was like an eye opener for me. And it gives you that perspective of like, let me sit down, let me get it together, and relax. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you for that podcast.
Well, thank you.
It really resonated with me. Next question. We want to talk about your book. So when is that coming out actually?
It is coming out March 1st, which is my birthday. Pisces. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. It's going to be an ebook first called I Found Me, How About You? And then next year I will be coming out with the paperback. I Found Me, How About You continues. So really excited.
I'm so excited to read. Like that just makes yes, I love that for you. What inspired you to write your book?
I don't want to go deep into details, but I just recently came out of a relationship probably like a year and a half ago, and my writing pretty much started from that. Like one day I was just laying down in bed and I was like, write a book. And I just start typing on my iPad. I was just typing, and I mean, I looked up and I had like over 3,000 words, less than a week. And I was like, okay, I have to do something with this. So yeah.
How long is your book?
Oh, the ebook will be 35 pages.
Okay.
And then the paperback should be at least 100 pages.
100 pages. Okay. I love that for you. Have you, I was just curious about like, when you started writing your book, were you in a place of just wanting to write it all down, like how you were feeling? Like, what was your mental space when you started writing?
My mental space was, I got to get out of this situation, and I am going to pretty much reflect on what I went through, but also where I want to be when I'm out of this situation. So it's kind of like I was daydreaming on how I would be when I'm out of this, situation, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So, yeah.
I love that. I always thought about it as like when you write something down and you really talk about it with yourself, and you almost talk to yourself as like you're already her. And I love this because just recently we had Sierra on here last week, and she kind of talked about, like her vision was her, and it was like it resonates with a lot of women because we always want to talk about the woman we're going to be, even if we're not exactly there just yet. And I love how you said that even in the midst of my situation, I wanted to talk about like who I'm about to be, you know? Because I think, because I think sometimes we get so caught up in what's going on in that moment versus where we're about to go. And, you know, it changes over a variety of time. It's just like, you know, after I heal from that, where am I about to be physically?
Exactly. You never know. It's only going to get better.
Only going to get better every single time. Every single day, everything is going to just get lighter and lighter and lighter each time you go through it, you know?
Exactly.
So what inspired you to, what inspired you for your name of Bubblicious for your podcast?
That is hard to answer because, I mean, I used to sell clothes. I used to have a boutique, and it was called Presh Creations. My nickname is Presh. But when I came out with my podcast, it was like I wanted something fun, not too serious. And I don't know where Bubblicious came from because I was thinking about sugarcoating peace. I don't know why. But then like I kept sleeping on it and I was like Bubblicious, and I just had the vision from there.
Wow, I love that. And then that's crazy because actually, when I wrote my book personally, I wanted to change my book name, but Why Her and Not Me just kept coming up.
Yep.
Thank you. It just kept, every time I tried to change it, it just kept coming back up. You know, like I'll hear it in a TikTok or I hear it just with, you know, like maybe I'm listening to a motivational speech and I'm like, I'm literally like, what is going on?
Confirmation. Don't change it.
Confirmation. I was like, yeah, don't change it, because at first I was kind of like, you know, maybe I was just really so focused on others' opinion and not of my own opinion. So I was like,
I think we all been there, second guessing. It's not okay to second guess. I still do it today, but it's not okay.
I still do it today as well, but I think I find myself just trying to push myself, even because I want to get uncomfortable. I've really been challenging myself each and every day of how can I challenge myself to get uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Because I've been so attached to being comfort, and I want to get into that space of discomfort.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Thank you. So I wanted to talk about, we have like one more question. When it comes to your podcast, what made you like only do for a short a period amount of time, meaning like the 3 to 4 minute podcast?
So I told myself that I wanted to start off just something short. And like you said, we always try to get others' opinions. So at first I was like, I was asking my mom and I was asking my close friends, like, is it too short or is it just enough? But then again, like just coming out as a podcaster, I felt like I didn't want to give too much because it gives people time to get to know me. I don't want to do too many long videos and then they're like, well, we don't even know you yet. I think the short videos in the beginning is great. This upcoming year, I do plan on going live with it, and I do plan on going longer with videos, but I believe the short videos will be just better for me, for people to get to know me first.
I love that. And I wanted to break that down as well by you doing what works for you. And I love that you said that, because a lot of times we will do things just because, like you said earlier, about trying to please others. Of, you know, when you ask your mom and your friends, and you ask, was it too short? But you really made the statement that regardless of what they said, it was still going to be my decision at the end of the day. And I love that you said that, because a lot of women, or just like a lot of people in general, they will get the opinion of others and it would dictate what they proceed to do, instead of just doing, like what resonates with you, because you could put that on yourself to do longer videos, and then, the inconsistent comes because you got other things going on as well. So I really thank you for saying that, because I know a lot of people will just do things out of the comfort of, of other people saying that, but you got to do what, works for you.
You comfortable, yeah. We're so influenced by social media. It's crazy.
That is true. That is true.
So it's the day, like, you got to do what's best for you. You can't go off of someone that's like has all of these, subscribers and followers. I mean, they can record a 45 to 50 to 60 minute video, and that's okay. They're going to get their views, but it's like, start small first. Don't try to start big.
Because me, I think I try to leave it, for me, I just know that what works for me right now is only like 14 to 15.
A good time frame.
Because I'm like, oh, Jesus. After that, I'm like, I'm tired. I can't do no more. That is very true. I just feel like, we will get attached to somebody telling us, what we should do. But I feel like once you set the standard of what you're going to do, then that is what you got to do. Because that 14 and 15 minutes. And then I kind of got to a point where I had started doing the actual video. And I'm kind of like...
Girl, you are doing amazing.
Thank you.
Like, when I first saw your page, I was like, I have to follow her. Like, I am inspired. Like, you're doing amazing.
Thank you so much. And you're doing amazing as well.
Oh, thank you.
Seriously, you really are. And I didn't tell you guys how we met. I usually like to tell you guys how we met. We met off social media. She reached out to me and our like different dreams and aspirations definitely do align. And I was just like, yes. And like when I looked on her page, I'm like, yes, this is just like what I'm doing, So I was like, I just love that. I love to see women like, it doesn't have to be in the same field as you, but it's good to have like-minded women around you. And I just love, we are both podcasters, and it's just like, it's a lot of things that resonate with each other. We can kind of understand each other on a different level because, we're in the same field. So it's just kind of like, yeah, that's good. I love that,
I was like, she's going to be my friend.
Yeah. I'm like, she's going to be our friend because we've been texting. Who's like, yeah, girl, and blah, blah, just having different conversations. But it's just good to really have like-minded people. I love that. I've really made friends and genuine relationships through social media just because of like what I post or, like them saying I'm inspiring. I'm like, girl, you inspire me. What are you talking about? Like, because when she said that, I'm like, girl, you inspire me. Even though I never followed you, just when, just even your aura from the first time we met was just kind of like, yeah, I could see that in the future. It's like some people, their aura just gives off. We gonna be like this, locked in. So I want to start out. So our next segment is all about topics. So the first topic I really wanted to talk about was discomfort. When you first started your podcast, what was the most discomforting part for you?
Well, you can't hear yourself. Like, I don't know if it's just like that for me, but I feel like I can't see myself. I can't, hear myself like others can. So like I was nervous. Like I didn't know how my voice sounded or how I was saying like certain words. Like I just was nervous. It was for sure my voice.
I think it was my voice too. I would just be like, do I sound okay? Well, I have a headset, and sometimes like even when I'm in the midst of talking, I don't really hear myself. Like as I'm talking, I'm just like, I'm going through it. But lately for some reason, it's like I'm almost hearing myself because like I had a whole epiphany the other time that I just recorded. I was like I was listening to myself for a second. I said, oh, you spitting that game. I was like, hold on now, wait a minute. I was like, hold on, wait. I need to take a second because I was like, I didn't even know I had the in me. You know how when you say something or you hear yourself back, you be like, I didn't even know I had that in me. It feels good.
And it's only gonna get better. It's only gonna get better.
It's only gonna get better over time. It's gonna grow, evolve, and it's just gonna get bigger than you ever thought it would be. Just being consistent, even if you don't see the results right now, just being that even in the midst of discomfort, there's always victory.
Yeah. I like that.
I think that a lot of times when we're in a discomfort space, it's only because we're fully challenging ourselves. And when you challenge yourself and really apply, like what you're trying to do, it really resonates with you a lot more than when you were just doing everything that was comforting to you. So I just feel like the more that you step outside of what you're normally doing, which is, like we said, both about, just hearing ourselves. We like, what do I look like? What do I sound?
What do I sound like? Yeah.
I think that'd be the main thing about me is what do I sound like? Because, with the video, I'm like, with the video, I'm not really a fan of it just yet because I feel like, even though it's up close and personal, I just feel like I'm not, maybe I pushed it too soon.
Don't think that. Kudos to you because I have not gotten there yet. Like, I am so nervous to record myself, like, live. Like, I'll be there next year, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
I think what gets me about the recording live is only because, like, and I only say that I rushed too fast because it was like, not saying that I wanted like a full setup or anything like that, which I do. Don't get me wrong, I really do. But I think that, with me having this talk show and then also with the podcast, I kind of want one to be like, only audio and then the one with video. So I think that is my main thing of like juggling of, I already record this one and then I got to record this one too. So I just be like, I just got to get that middle balance, That's the only.
You got a lot on your plate, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it.
Definitely. It definitely is. So the next topic I wanted to talk about was, where do you see yourself in the next year?
Hopefully live with my podcast. I at least want 3 books out. Finish with school, of course. And I think that's it. Yeah. Of course, better mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. 3 books at least, and at least recording live for my podcast because I'm so nervous to do that.
Got this. When you start doing it, you're going to be like, oh, this is a piece of cake. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's just that starting point where you be like, oh, do I really want to go live? Like, I got to put myself, because you be like, I got to put myself together. And I do that. I be having to put myself together and I'm always sweating because I'm like, oh,
nervous.
Oh my God. Am I doing this right? Like, just the whole shebang, you just be thinking like in your head, but like once you start, it just like it just flow. It just really flow because it's like already something you doing, and you're just taking it to a new level. All you're doing is just adding the camera with it. You already got the vocals, and then it's really gonna get better. I wanted to talk about lastly. I didn't say what I was gonna be in a year. In a year, I actually am in the works of getting my own production studio. I haven't said that out loud just yet, but yes, I am actually in the works of getting my own production studio.
It's amazing.
This is stressing me out, but I just been moving very silently about it, and like only like one of my friends knew about it, but that is really one of my priorities is to get that open. Actually, on the grounds. I actually been looking at, the only thing that's really like taking a minute for me is just finding the location that resonates with me. I think I've looked at a couple locations and been like, that's nice, but I don't feel like it's me, So I just been taking my time of really trying to find the studio that's going to resonate the most with me, and how I can be able to be creative in my very own way. In the next year, I'm taking a break on books for now. Just because I'm so
for now.
People want me to make Why Her Not Me a series, but we'll see. We will see, because I always actually wanted to write a poetry book, so I think I would do the poetry book before I actually did part 2 of Why Her Not Me.
Okay, so I can see.
Yeah, so I just think I want to do that, but that's probably not in the year frame. Maybe like in 2 years. Also, moving into my own place is one of my like priorities of this year. Yeah, just staying consistent in all given times, no matter what that looks like for me.
I like that. For me, consistency and to be focused, because it's easy to lose your focus for sure.
it's definitely easy to lose your focus, and then sometimes get into that space where you can't get back focused.
Get out, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't get. You become unbalanced, like, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I wanted to talk about. Lastly, was being unbalanced. Like, what challenges have you found to be like a place where you get unbalanced?
Are you asking me like how do I become back balanced, or?
Yes, how do you come back balanced?
I mean, like you can't put a time frame on that either. Because I mean, I done had weeks, like months, to where like I'm unbalanced. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna advertise it to social media, but like my close friends or my mom or my sisters, like they will know. But I mean, I try to pretty much get up and perform for myself like I do on a regular basis. It may not be to the certain extent when I am balanced, but I still try to do that same routine. But I mean, I've had times where I've been unbalanced for like weeks. I mean, just in October, I was unbalanced for like the whole month. But of course, you keep it concealed. You don't advertise it. But I mean, it took me like a month to become back balanced. And I think it comes with self-care for sure. Whatever helps you mentally and physically and emotionally for sure. I had to go get my hair done. I had to go, just get out the house, get some nature, read a good motivational book, watch a couple podcasts, like anything that's inspiring and that's going to uplift my spirit. It most definitely helps me become back balanced.
I really do feel that as well. I think when I get unbalanced lately, just even in the new year, even with, at the beginning of the year, you got aspirations, you want to do this, you want to do that, you just want life to be good.
Yeah,
yeah, you just want it to be good. But I think I found myself getting unbalanced as well, just even in the midst of the couple weeks since the new year started. And I found myself, what I do is like, even when I feel unbalanced, what I'm doing is no longer just being upset with myself, but allowing myself to be unbalanced for a little minute. Allow myself that little time to get it back together. Because I noticed that when I allow myself the time, like I bounce back by Wednesday. Maybe I didn't have it together by Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday, you getting back in that gym, or you doing this, you doing that. Like I'm back to it. Like I'm like, okay, I'm going back to doing the TikToks and stuff like that. But I'm just learning that even in the unbalance, that I can be back balanced. Like I can find my medium. And I noticed that like when I find my medium, I'm like, oh, I can breathe. I can breathe now.
It's all temporary.
Definitely. All temporary. It really just comes with balancing yourself, just knowing when sometimes you're not okay. And even in the midst of that, when you know that you're not okay, you can change that. Because I think a lot of times we don't find ourselves feeling like we're unbalanced, and we just think that everything just gonna come back together. But it's like if you don't really acknowledge it, then it changes the way that you will receive it. And how you receive it is how you're going to perceive it. Like how you receive what what's going on in your life. You can perceive it as, oh, this is the last straw, or this is it. Like I can't do nothing else. And I feel like when you do that, then that's when you find yourself unbalanced for a longer period of time because you don't want to acknowledge it,
I like how you worded that. I like that.
I'm telling you, sometimes, most of the time, I don't even be thinking about what I'm saying. Then when I say it, I'm like, "Oh, girl, you know what you're talking about." Yeah. So I wanted to ask, lastly, it's 2 more questions. What is one quote you live by?
Never quit your daydream. I am a daydreamer. Like I could sit up and be watching TV and I just spaz out to my daydream. Like I am a daydreamer for sure. So never quit your daydream.
Love that. I love that because I feel like I'm a dreamer as well. Like if I had to describe myself, I will always say that I'm a dreamer. And I say I'm a dreamer because like I don't know how I was given this gift. Well, I do know it's from God, but I have the gift of knowing, or knowing somebody's past or anything of that nature. What I learned is that in the midst of that, I dream like I've already envisioned myself on television before I was even on television. And I was on television when I was about 18. I was on the news channel.
Mm-hmm.
I envisioned that when I was little. But I think I always been such a visionary, and I think that being a visionary can bring so much greatness out of you because you can already see it before it's physically there, you know? So I love that you said that quote. And lastly, this is the last segment. Where do you see yourself in the next 6 months?
I haven't thought about that actually. That's something that I need to think about. Like I need to add that to my journal because I have not thought about where I would be in the next 6 months. I have thought about where I would be in the next year, but not the next 6 months. Are you the type of person that go by months or do you go by years? Because I go by years.
So I used to be the type of person that goes by years, but lately I've been going by months. I've been going quarterly. And I actually been learning that when I go quarterly and I don't think so far ahead of time, like a year from now, I'm more liable to get those things done. That's just me personally. I'm more liable to get it done only because of the simple fact that I broke it down into quarterly. Like in these 3 months, I need to get this, this, and this done. In these 3 months, I need to be consistent here in these three, like scenarios or things of that nature. And I found that I'm more liable to get it done because, then I get it. I'm more liable to get it done because I put it into perspective of, okay, I'm giving myself this date and it's going to happen. We have reached the end of the talk show, but I just want to thank you so much for talking with me today. I really do appreciate your time. Everybody, please go out and make sure you go listen to Bubblicious Podcast on Apple Podcasts. I will make sure to tag it down below. Is there anything you wanted to say to them before I let you go?
But thank you so much for having me. And I love what you're doing. Keep up the good work. And I'm always supporting.
Thank you. And the same goes here. You already know we are here to support each other. And I just want to thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of I Am Beautifully Broken. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye, y'all.